Hello, this lesson is for educators that would like to start to incorporate assessing their students on the computer and receive instant data. QuizStar is a free program that educators can use in order to accomplish this task. Today I'm going to show you the main aspects of the program, like creating a class, creating a quiz, and viewing a report. So let's get started. The first thing that you need to do is open your web browser and enter quizstar.forteachers.org into the URL. This is the main page where both you and your students will go and log into your accounts. However, since this is your first time, you must sign up. Click the Get Started tab and enter your email and chosen password. Once your account is set up, when coming to this home screen, you will click the yellow arrow that says Instructors Site and log in normally. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and log in since I've already registered. Once logged in, you have a few options. You can edit your profile, create classes, create quizzes, assign the quiz, and view the results. We are going to start by developing a class. Click the blue tab labeled Class Manager and click New Class in the upper right-hand corner. This is where you will put information about the class for students to find. The two main aspects here are to give the class a title and to note whether or not it's going to be a public or private class. I will call this one EDUC Practice and make it public where anyone can register to take the quizzes in this class. Other options are to add a class time, how many students are in the class, and even a description. When you're finished, click Create Class. This class will now show up in your class manager. However, you will notice that it has no quizzes or students assigned to it. Next, we will add students to your class. Click 0 students under the class folder and click Add Student. There are 3 options here. You can add already existing QuizStar students by their usernames, if you use this as a school, or you can create student accounts by adding a student to the class roster, giving them usernames and passwords. Or if you already have a class roster and a .csv file, you can upload it here. For our purposes today, I will make a new test student, Katie Perry, at KP123, and her password will be Singer. Once you have added all the information, you'll click Submit. Katie Perry has now been added to the class. Once all your students are added to the class, you then need to create a quiz for them to take. Click the orange tab Quiz Manager, and there are 2 options here. If a colleague already uses QuizStar and you would like to use the quiz that they've already made as a common assessment, you have the option to import a quiz. But today we were going to be creating a new one. Click New Quiz in the upper right-hand corner. First, we will give the quiz a title. I will name this one Practice Quiz. Next, you will need to check and make sure all the rest of the settings are what you want. You have the option to change the amount of quiz attempts, to add special instructions, decide whether the students get feedback, how many questions are displayed on one page, if it gives students the correct answer, change the font size, if you want the results emailed, and have a time for the quiz. I'm going to leave all of these settings set to the default, but feel free to change them. When you are satisfied with your choices, click Save. You are now in the Question Form tab. This is where you will input your quiz questions. I will make a few practice questions. There are 3 options for quiz questions: multiple choice, true and false, and short answer. So we will do one of each. First is the multiple choice question. The question will be, if you want to change your password, where do you go? And our answer choices will be profile, class manager, quiz manager, and report manager. Since the answer is profile, we will check the box next to profile. Next, we need to assign the question points. 1 point is good, so now we will click Save, Make New Question. Next is the true and false question. Click True and False and enter the question. Our question will be, the file must be a .csv file to upload students into a class. We'll make this one worth 2 points and make sure the answer is marked as true. Again, we will click Save, Make New Question. The short answer questions cannot be graded by QuizStar, so I personally do not use these often. But if you would like to make a short answer question, you follow similar steps as the multiple choice and true and false. Our question will be, where do you edit a class in QuizStar? Edit. This one will change to 5 points. And we're going to add our correct answer, change that to short answer, as class manager. Since this is our last question, we will click Save, go to Question List. This is where you can see your quiz and make any edits. When you are done, click the blue link, Finished Editing. You now have a quiz that you can assign to your classes. Using the drop-down menu, choose which class. The class we created were EDUC Practice, and then click the green folder with the arrow. When assigning the quiz, you will have the option to put a time limit on when it can be accessed or not. I will make this quiz always available and click Assign. Now when Katy Perry logs on, she will see that she has a quiz to take. When the students are finished taking the quiz, to see the results, you will click the green tab, Report Manager. Since Katy Perry hasn't actually taken her quiz yet, we will look at a previously set up class and click Active Reports. Click View on the way on the right side for the quiz, and there is no waiting time to get results. Quiz results can be either printed or downloaded as a .csv file. The results can be shown by points or percentages. In addition, you can see results by student, where you can see how each individual student did, or you can see the results as a question analysis, where you can see how many students got things right and wrong. This is beneficial in seeing which questions students did the worst on and what concepts might need to be retaught. So that concludes our tutorial on how to use QuizStar. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I encourage you to play around with it more and use it in the future. Thank you.